Welcome to the Blind Apex Podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
I'm your host, Khan John Turk, and this is the Blind Apex Podcast. On this podcast, we're going to talk about professional photography and its benefits for you. Joining me is my favorite photographer. I support him every event I can. The logos are on my car. He's got no neck like me, so we've been accused of being related. Tony Politti, welcome to the show, bud.
How's it going today, man?
Good. It's a little moist outside, but, you know, we're living the dream here in Virginia, so.
Yeah, I hope for a little moisture this weekend. It makes for good drama in photos, but it also makes the weekend last a lot longer.
Yes, it does. I don't know how you do it as a photographer sitting out there, keeping things clean and keeping your gear all together. But yeah, it's as a driver, I don't really mind one way or the other. But my last incident with weather, because I don't say the R word, I got hit by a Miata, so we won't. I'm trying not to replicate that incident. So, Tony, I've known you for
I hear you
20 years, probably at this point, maybe over 20 years.
Yep.
We've both been around the paddock in different capacities. So let's talk about where your love for cars came from and how you ended up where you are.
My love for cars, I would say, probably started in my mother's womb. When she was still pregnant with me, she was out doing autocrossing and road racing. They quit. Both my parents raced. They quit racing, I'm guessing because of me.
Probably.
They lived up in New York at the time, and then we moved down to Fairfax, Virginia. At that point, my dad actually went into, it was a tire changing place in Burke, and ran into a gentleman named Gray Stevenson who had a race car in the shop, and Dad and him became good friends, and we started going to all the races up at Summit Point with SCCA at the time. I was a kid, and I ran around Summit Point back when it was a much more wild place, and played in the woods and rode my bicycle. There used to even be two arcade games at Summit Point, and my dad would give me a stack of quarters, and I'd play. I think the game's called 1944. It's a playing game. You shoot down stuff.
Right.
I spent my entire childhood basically at Summit Point. You turn 16, you start getting into cars yourself. Started building Hondas for myself, and my parents didn't like that I was leaning towards the drag race and stuff, and in 99 ended up finding NASA, and they were actually at the first event at VIR with NASA, and they were like, you got to come out and do this. So in 2000, my mom started letting me drive her Camaro in HPDE. I progressed through HPD. I was HPD 1 probably for all of 2000. 2001, I ended up becoming the pace car driver. My dad became the race director. My mom was the registrar for NASA. Yeah. And I spent the next 8, 9, 10 years being the pace car driver. Then my son came along, and I was a little bit far away from the track, so I had to take a short break from being at the track all the time, and ended up not coming out. The guy came out to a couple Hyperfests, because you can't miss Hyperfest.
Right, nobody can miss those.
And then I guess it was 2018, 2017, somewhere in there. I was doing a lot of driving for work, driving all over the eastern, like the southeast and out to Tennessee and Arkansas and stuff. And I was like, I should get a camera. Like, I'm driving so much, I'm seeing cool stuff. I'm going to grab a camera, start playing around with a camera again. Started taking pictures, buying gear, having fun, not doing anything crazy. And then I bought my first telephoto lens, try and take pictures of birds and bugs and whatever. And
right.
That really didn't excite me all that much. So I came out to a NASA event one weekend, called up Cabetto, said, hey, I'm just going to come out and hang out. Started taking pictures, had fun. Well, more than fun. I genuinely enjoyed it. And I, went to Cabetto and I said, what can I do for you to get me media credentials for the next Hyperfest? He was like, oh, your family, I'll get you some credentials. So came out for Hyperfest. That was the greatest thing in the world. And then I just started going to every event I could.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
Yeah. All these years later, multiple attempts. He's the infamous guy early on at Hyperfest trying to do rollovers. You were pretty passionate about this stuff. So, it's always good to have you back out there, though. Yeah, I'm stoked on it. Totally, it's cool to see the paddock evolve too. Because back when NASA first started, like sponsorship, there was no sponsorship money. Now, I take pictures of people all the time with all kinds of sponsors on their car, not just stickers. That could be a sponsor, but like people are actually like, there's actually money in this stuff right.
now, and it's crazy to see the evolution. From the '80s where it was just a bunch of wild guys who wanted to go fast to now like club events are serious, they're legit.
I mean, it's a growing competitive sport, and in the region that you operate in, the same region I operate in, we're pretty competitive. From the SM guys to the E30 folks, Honda Challenge, even those Thunder guys who like to cause double yellows all the time. Everybody's racing hard all the time. So,
yeah, even Southeast, because I cover the Southeast as well. You go down there, E30 and Spec Miata is more alive than possibly anywhere in the country. Couple events ago, they had a weekend where there were over 36 E30s out there for the whole weekend. Like that was, crazy. And they're always fielding 15, 20 Spec Miatas.
Yeah.
So there's competitive racing, all over the East Coast.
So, now that we know who you are, Tony Politti, the bearded wonder, no neck. Basically, are you wearing like a boonie hat when you're out there? I swear I see
just a straw hat.
Just a straw hat and his big lens sticking out there. I don't even pay attention to where you are. I don't know how Brian Mang ever finds you guys, but I don't pay attention to that. If you're not sitting behind a corner station, I'll never know where you are, because once I clear a corner station, I'm focused on the road, so on the racetrack. But I did want to clear the air early on because I see this post all the time, right? I post because I want to promote you. You're a friend. This is your small business, and I want to support you. But there's people out there that go, oh, $90 is too much for a photograph package, right? And I think the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an extreme value, right? Because, well, we've been around a long time, so we know what it used to be $20 a photo. And that was probably 10 years ago.
And and I'm charging $15 for a photo if that's all you want. I started the $90 package to provide much more value. What I found is people who want photos want all the photos. I could you could have 4 photographers at the track, and those people will probably buy photos from all of them. People who don't want photos, maybe they just want 1 or 2, but most people want a lot of photos.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not rich. I can't afford 4 photographers like this last year at Hyperfest. I didn't do 4 photographers. I did you, and then I did some aftermath once I knew I didn't break anything, right? So after the event, I sought out guys and worked on some deals, right? But there's a true benefit to this. And in the cost of photography, yes, there's upfront equipment. Like, I don't even want to know what your SLR costs. I know at Hyperfest, you were out there. I think you had rented lenses. You had a bunch of stuff. You've got memory sticks, batteries. I mean, it's a plethora of gear that you have to purchase and maintain. And I feel like people just don't understand that.
Hyperfest was it's Hyperfest. Like I said earlier, you got to go all in on Hyperfest. I had Canon send me some gear. I rented some gear. I was literally walking around Hyperfest with probably about $40,000, like a race car's worth of, a fast race car's worth of camera gear.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, like, that gear, like the better gear, it does make a difference. Like, I can go out with any camera and get you some good shots, but I can do even better with better gear, and I can do it more consistently. So the goal is to always, like, that I had a 400 f2.8 for any photographer who's listening, and that's just, that thing was magical. Stuff I do in the post-processing process, I didn't have to do with that lens, because that lens just does it.
Right. Well, okay. So, and the other thing is, you're there for three days, probably, maybe 3 nights, because you might as well get there the night before, because most events you need to do that, but definitely for Hyperfest. But any of those media events, you're going to want to be there the night before, because you, the photographer, doesn't want to get stuck at the gate, right? So you've got to find lodging for 3 nights. You got to feed yourself for 3 days. Like, there's travel involved. The gear, I mean, I know you were borrowing and renting and doing all this stuff, but a $40,000 investment in gear, I'm sure you want to get there one day, right? I'm sure you want to be able to have that at your fingertips all the time. That's going to be hard to do at the price you're charging. I mean, I'm not trying to give you business advice. It's not a business podcast. There's plenty of other business podcasts you could listen to. But
totally get it. Totally understand.
Yeah. So that's just on the front end, right? So just the front end of the photography, the buy-in for you has been large, right? So let's talk about what you do on post-production, because I bet you spend more time in post-production than you do pressing buttons on your camera, you know?
Days. I spend days in the post-processing process. My goal when I go out, say it's a 2-day weekend, I like to keep it between 5,000 and 6,000 photos per day. At the end of the weekend, I'm coming home with 10,000 to 12,000 photos. Just the first step, I go through and I sort, and I find any shot that is not just complete garbage, and then I throw away the garbage. That normally knocks out about half of the photos. So now I'm looking at about 6,000 photos. Now I've got whoever's prepaid for me, and I have to get that out as quick as possible. So I'm going to go, through those 6,000 photos and try to find all of my prepaid customers. Get that sorted out, process those, and then starting as I'm leaving the track, you get HPDE people who didn't prepay. They may not have known about me or known that there was a photographer there, whatever, but they're hitting me up. When are the photos going to be ready? And that will drive you a little crazy, because it's going to be a while before you can even start looking at people who didn't tell you beforehand.
Right.
then once you narrow it down to who wants photos, then you got to go through and edit each of those photos. For somebody who prepays, I'm going to typically deliver 10 to 20 solid images that I've gone through and edited meticulously to make them exactly how I want them to look. And then if you've prepaid me, I'll usually end up with 100 to 200 photos of just your car. Some people want to see all of that extra stuff. They like to see it for just see what their car's doing in a turn, just diagnostic reasons.
Right.
So I'm going to deliver all of that. Another thing that adds time in my process, a lot of photographers are just going to deliver you the full resolution image. What I have found, when they go to post those, they don't necessarily know all the settings and the tweaks to do to make them look the best on social media platforms, which absolutely devastate any image quality. So I go through and I export 3 different versions of each photo, one full res, one for Facebook, and one for Instagram, so people who care have the option and the correct file to post to each and every different platform that's out there.
Yeah.
All of that stuff, I mean, it adds up to time. Lots and lots of time.
I mean, but it's important. So this podcast is going to follow up the social media and marketing podcast that was released. I couldn't tell you the episode number, even though I just uploaded today. But in that podcast, I'm not even that old of a podcast, and I forget the numbers now. But in that podcast, we highlight the importance of photography to grow your social media. Growing your social media, depending on the platform, can help you find partners and sponsors that will help you with your car and your race program, right? So that's a huge benefit to prepaying. The other thing, the deal that you're providing, $90 is what? At $15 a piece, what is that? 6 individual photos, but you're providing 10 to 20? Like, that's a steal already.
Yeah. I was actually down in the Southeast and was speaking with one of the guys down there who purchased a lot of photography from me. And he went to another organization, and he came back and was like, dude, thank you for what you provide at the price point you're providing it. I went there, and the guy wanted $125 per photo.
Oh.
Per photo.
Oh. That's a little steep.
That's out of this world. Like, that's not printed. That's not like something you're hanging on that's just a digital image for $125.
He's, that guy's probably got $120,000 worth of camera gear, Tony.
He's doing a lot less work than I am, too.
Well, I mean, probably.
Because not many people are buying photos.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the problem, right? You have to strike a balance. I think you've done a good job striking a balance, to be honest, with the deal. I really appreciate the deal. Mm-hmm. I happily pay you full price. We've been friends for a long time, and that's another thing, like the homie hookup thing. If it's offered, okay, but I'm not asking for it. I would never ask for it. This is your business. This is what you're trying to do. So all I can do is support you and tell you I appreciate it, because I do. I have been very fortunate to be able to use your photography, you and Tay, because when Tay was running around, you and him, the twins, running around taking pictures, I had so many pictures, it was insane, right? But you hinted at it. One of the big benefits is this understanding of the chassis dynamics, right? So you have a customer, not me, because I don't need thousands of pictures, or hundreds of pictures, but I get the right pictures from you because I get to see what my car's doing. That you can take your chassis data, the stuff that you're seeing in your AIM data, and you can look at pictures from those corners and you can tell, I think I'm picking up a rear tire, right? So at Hyperfest, I was like, man, I'm picking up a rear tire in 3. That's a really fast corner for me to be picking up a tire. I think I'm picking up a tire. I thought that's what I felt. Your photography proved it, right? That was one of the chassis dynamic issues. Then we talk about you caught me on 2 wheels coming, not even on the curb in Oak Tree, off the curb in Oak Tree, just off the curb, probably where I need to be, but still on 2 wheels. So my chassis, my shock settings are off a little bit. I need to work on my droop. I need to figure some things out. And people don't understand that. People don't understand the benefits that you can get from a single picture, just looking at it. You can think all day, but the picture is proof. And you can look at it and you can tell what's happening with your car. And I think you run bursts a lot, don't you, when you do it?
I do not.
No?
Every photo I take is a single press. I'll do some bursts. Like if cars are coming straight at me and there's something real dynamic and I'm trying to catch a specific moment, I'll do some bursts. But 90% of all the pictures I take are single click. What I learned doing bursts, either you get a string of good photos or you get a string of bad photos. And that's just even more work that I have to do afterwards.
Right.
So I'm dialing in my composition and I'm trying to put that car exactly where it needs to be. I'm looking at what the cars are doing, trying to find that dynamic moment in the shot. I'm playing with shutter speeds to try and get the right amount of motion in the shot. There's a ton that I'm looking at, but yeah, each shot is very on purpose.
So the other thing, the other real big benefit folks don't generally understand is, so I'll be on my second event with a front splitter. So assuming the weather is what the weather people say it's going to be for Summit Point, you may be taking some pictures of my front end aero and I will be able to see how it's working because of the pictures you're taking and the weather that's happening. Because I won't say the R word. And it's invaluable.
I've got a perfect example.
Yeah. But
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're good. I'd like to see that example. I would like to, if you would send it to me, watermark it. I want to promote it. Because this is a perfect thing for people to understand what photography can do for you. So I don't care that we're talking about it on the podcast. Can you send it to me so we can use it in the podcast promotion so people can see the benefit, especially on the aero side? Because it's a big deal and it's very overlooked.
I can probably find that photo for you. What I was referencing is up at Summit. It was a Lexus RCF. The guy's bought a bunch of photos from me, but he had brought it out, and he was positive that his hood was lifting while he was, like, once he got over 100 miles an hour. And he had reported it to Lexus, and they were like, we don't know what you're talking about. This is a you problem. And I was able to get some shots of that hood just popped up just enough that he was able to take the Lexus. I haven't heard the resolution if they did anything from that. But that's, I was able to give him the evidence that he needed to bring to them. Because you can't catch that, from a video camera inside the car.
Right.
It's the wrong angle to see that.
Right.
So, yeah, there's all kinds of examples where having that shot is very valuable.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. I don't really want the weather to be the way they're predicting, but I'll make the best of it, right?
I like a good one session, and that's it. I got to get them drama shots. Once I got the drama shots, then the rain can go away.
Oh, you said that dirty word.
The weather.
I'm superstitious, man. I played baseball growing up. What can I say?
I hear you.
Yeah. So, from the driver's perspective, what makes the best photos. So let's talk about, because you complain about my gray car all the time. So let's talk about what you see as the best picture taking cars, the one that attracts your eye and the one that comes out the best.
The louder your livery, it doesn't have to be any specific color, but the more you stand out, obviously you're catching my eye and I'm more likely to turn my camera to you. Obviously bright colors are going to get my attention. Just cool designs. My favorite car to shoot it's black, gray, and red. It's an AMG. I don't even know what it is. It's a beautiful AMG, and it's not loud. Maybe it's the car. It's not crazy, but it stands out. It just screams, "Pay attention to me."
Yeah.
For me,
is that
when I see a loud livery, also, I'm assuming even if you haven't prepaid me, you're probably going to want pictures.
Right.
Like if you're screaming for attention, I'm going to give you that attention.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a real livery on my car. I'm a jerk. I run around with $100 bill number plates and stuff, but yeah, I'm going to work on that. I think I want to be a little boisterous, not quite Ashley Bektar boisterous, but
he definitely got my attention at the last Summit event.
Well, I mean, gold, I would be down too. So, but I can't do gold anymore. But that's what people
contrast the quest.
Yeah, contrast. We've talked about it before. So you have to have contrast, right? But define that contrast.
That makes it
on the livery, right?
Yeah. Light and dark colors. The way autofocus in cameras work, this is also a reason I want contrast, but if your car is solid white, sometimes my camera doesn't want to focus on it. White's not really the problem. All black cars, the camera doesn't know what it's looking at. It thinks it's looking at a shadow. So it doesn't want to grab focus on that. You throw some white, some yellow numbers on the side of that, and now it's the easiest thing in the world to focus on because it sees something there that it's like, oh, that's what I'm looking for. The same thing with the human eye. Like when you're looking at stuff and you see just alternating colors, it grabs your attention.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
If you go back to elementary school and you look at the color wheel, they always say complementary colors or colors that are on the opposite side of the color wheel. So like blue and yellow, they're opposites. I think red and green. Anytime you can come up with that, just those alternating colors, it looks good, number one. Number two, it's what the human eye is actually drawn to.
Right. So contrast. Let's talk contrast because the only contrast on my car is my black wheels because I'm so lazy. I don't want to clean my wheels all the time. Do you care about wheels and wheel color?
So I need to, because I need to get into the paddock and I need to start taking more paddock shots, but I don't. So for me, wheels are an object to create motion. I'm trying to murder wheels. I'm trying to make just a blurry mess out of wheels. For me, if I can see the spokes of the wheels, like I gotta lower that shutter speed. I can't handle that. But on the flip side of that, a bright colored wheel on a dark colored car, there's contrast for you.
Right.
So while I'm not looking for, a specific awesome wheel, wheels do make a difference. Having good color contrast in between, or even, matching colors on your wheels and other parts of your livery. I mean, that just makes the car jump out. It's highlights, it's definition, it's something to look at.
Okay. So what else can the drivers do to help their photos come out better?
Turn your headlights on. Always leave them always on, because there's a lot of times, even in full sun, where I can catch headlight or reflections off of the pavement.
Mm-hmm.
They just add they add an element to the photo. If everybody would just put LEDs all over your car. I'm obviously talking to nobody at this point, but the louder your car speaks, the cooler your pictures are going to be.
So I might have made a mistake. I did a little front end change. I took the yellow Laminex off my headlights, and I'm now running blue to match the logos for IPG on the back. It felt a little off running yellow on the front, but I still run my daytime running lights, so we'll keep that on for you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a designer. I haven't been to school for photography. I know nothing about design. I just tell you what looks good. When you get the balance of colors, and it sounds like the balance was off, like when you get the yellow on the headlights, and then you get yellow, in different spots, and you get it all to line up, like that's what makes a livery.
Yeah. I need to find a designer. So anybody out there who designs this stuff that listens, hit me up. I'm probably going to...
Here's a shout out to Carson Stone with Pro Graphics.
Oh.
He does incredible vinyl and design work.
I'm going to write this down right now. Carson Stone. We'll talk later, because...
Pro Graphics.
Yeah. So I spend a lot of time looking for high quality pictures. One, because I want to keep growing not only my personal Instagram, but I need to promote the podcast Instagram. That's why the podcast logo is on the side of my car. But also I need to know about the chassis dynamics. And those are the two biggest benefits that I see in photography, is growing my social media, helping the partners I already have, potentially getting new partners, and then figuring out what the heck is actually going on with my car. But we can't do it without you guys. I know you're not the only one that's out there, but I realize that you try hard and you're trying to make this work. So I want to tell you that I appreciate that. And you've said it earlier. You said that you really want to get those action photos. And I think those are the ones that really pop. Stale photos, the ones that look like you're still on the racetrack, they just don't work for people. Another thing is you need to follow Tony at PolitiPixels on Instagram, because when you're not at the racetrack or he's out of region, he sets up a video camera so we can at least see the corner from his vantage point from the corner that he's shooting from. So I kind of appreciate that. I log in as much as I can to catch those, because when I'm not racing, I could always use more racing in my life. So
I've actually kind of stopped doing that a little bit here recently, because it's good to hear that I know you and Ryan now are a fan of that, but those don't seem to get many views. I'll start doing it again, though, now that I know that at least more than one person appreciates it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, leave it to Ryan Bradfield and myself to appreciate watching racing anywhere we can get it, because we stalk folks on YouTube and stuff like that. I think we subscribe to all those guys that are, the British touring cars are running in wherever, we'll still be there. Like if it's on YouTube and it's live, we're watching. So,
yeah.
Do you have any other tips for drivers?
Drive smooth. Not only does it make you faster, but it makes my job easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Smooth is fast.
Go out in the rain.
Sometimes when you're on the edge, you can't get it. Yes, go out in the rain too. Absolutely. Amen.
Point at me. Like, if you see me, I don't even flip me the bird, throw me a peace sign, wave, say hi, like I'm there. If you can find me, those are some of my favorite photos. Whenever, you know, I can capture a moment, it's those are cool for me.
Yeah. Literally, Tony, when I'm going out on the warm-up lap, I'm not looking for you. I'm trying to focus because we do big boy standing starts in the Mid-Atlantic region in the Lightning group anyway. And you got to get focused, get the car warmed up, and get ready to do a drag race down into turn one. The only time I ever figure out where you are is when somebody messes up and we run around on double yellow. And on double yellow, I'll be like, oh, There's Tony. I found him. Him in the straw hat, hanging out. So I just don't know how anybody figures out where you are unless you don't. Maybe you should start posting it. Like when you get to a corner. I know you have 100 other things you got to do when you get to a corner between sessions, but might be helpful. At least for us. But
maybe I start wearing just bright, loud, annoying clothing.
Yeah.
So you can't miss me.
It doesn't. I mean, you can't wear the flagger colors or you'll get in trouble. We know all about that, but I just don't know if I'd pay attention. But
yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So, where can everybody find your work right now?
PolitiPixels.com is my website. That's PolitiPixels.com. Same on Instagram and Facebook, PolitiPixels. I have an old website, PolitiPix, but that just redirects you to PolitiPixels. I don't think, I'm not on any other platforms.
Yeah.
Those are the easiest places to get me.
I mean, they're probably the best platforms. So, right now.
Yeah. My email is tony@politipix.com.
Sweet.
And I'll explain this here. Maybe people will hear it. I quit posting photos on my website, all of the photos. Number one, the big reason was the company who hosts my website wanted to charge more money for the amount of media I had stored on their servers. My monthly price was going to go from $30 a month to $180 a month.
Yep.
And that wasn't even going to cover everything that was up there. So that I quit doing. Plus, most people were going to my website, seeing that they wanted more than one or two pictures, and coming directly to me for a deal anyway. So I've quit posting all of the pictures up there. I go and I post for each event. I'll go and post 10 to 20 photos just so you guys can see kind of what I caught for the weekend, different compositions.
Right.
And then I'm trying to direct everybody to my email now.
Okay.
Because social media messages get lost really fast.
Really fast, guys.
And I know I've lost a lot of opportunities to get photos into people's hands because I've just lost those communications.
Yeah. I don't know if people understand when you're getting 20 messages a day for let's call it a side hustle, right? This is your small business, but you're still working a full-time job. You can't 20 messages a day and it's like, okay, I need to get back with this person, that person. You have to do research, to pull up all their pictures and try to get back to them. If you can't knock it out in one day, you may get lost because the next 20 folks are coming to message you. So do him a favor, do all the photographers a favor. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you also add in, you go and you make a post and you tag 10, 15 people, and those all show up as messages as well. So it pushes them down another 10, 15 messages.
Yeah. It's a balance because of the platform, how the platform was designed. I would reach out, and if Tony responds with email me at this email address, that's the best way to do it. If you want to guarantee that's how you're going to get your stuff, if that's what he's saying, that's what I would do. If another photographer has a different system, use that system, but don't just rely on that. And if they don't get back to you, if Tony doesn't get back to you, message him again. You know, it might filter to the top for him, and that might be helpful, but messaging him isn't the way he wants it. So let's work on the emails and stuff. So it's that other app on your phone, not Instagram. So any last shots, alibis, anything you need for the folks out there?
Not off the top of my head.
All right. You're always welcome on the show, man. So, and maybe we do an event wrap up together. I've got some requests for wrap ups from each event. So, if you know you're free, you know, a couple days after an event, maybe we can get together. We'll do that, because you can tell me stories that I have no idea what's going on. So, I'm only out in my group. So
true. Yeah. I try to mingle with everybody.
Yeah, and you do a good job of that. So, for Southeast folks, Mid-Atlantic folks, NASA in particular, are you doing anybody else, like track days or any of those events this year? Do you know?
I will be at NASA Nationals. I've been hired to do is it WRL? Yeah, WRL event at VIR this year.
Nice.
I've got a Porsche Club event down at Road Atlanta in September. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to pick up any event that anybody wants me at. Yeah, it's just a question away, and most of the times I'm gonna want to be there. I love being at the track, and I love taking pictures. So you put the two of them together, and it's just it's a great job and fun for me.
Awesome. Yeah, so hit up PolityPixels at any of these events. If you're in a separate event, basically in the East Coast, you don't really go all the way up to the Northeast so much, but you know, Mid-Atlantic, Southeast, if you're having some event and you need a photographer, hit him up, see if he's free. You know, you never know. But thanks for coming on the show, man. I think it's important that people understand what the cost is and what the benefits really can be. It will make you go faster if you're paying attention, and it will help you out in the partnership arena if that's what you're looking to do. So thanks again, man.
You can also come and hang on one more.
Yeah.
You can also come and chat with me at the event, after the event. I'm not bragging here. I have been doing this quite a while, and I'm starting to see just different things. I'm trying to dial in different stuff, and like I'm focusing on where a bump is in the track, so I can not catch the car blurry going over that bump. So there's a lot of stuff that I see from the side of the track that if you guys are feeling something, come talk to me. I'm an open book. I'll happily sit down and tell you what I see from the side of the track as well.
Yeah. It's good information. He accepts payment for track information in cold adult beverages. So bring him a cold one and ask him a question about where you think there might be an issue, and he'll see what he can tell you. So, you have a different perspective where you sit, and it's a good one. Being on track, focused with your helmet on, that's a little different. It's very different. Forget that. It's very different. And you get to see much different perspective, and it's a perspective that can really help all the drivers. So,
I also get to see that perspective sometimes from places that a lot of people aren't even allowed to go.
Yeah, the media vest grants you a lot.
I've got the bet. Yeah, I got the best seat in the house. I get to stand where nobody else is allowed to stand. I get to be up and much more personal with a lot of this than most people do. So photographers in general definitely have a whole different perspective.
Sometimes you guys are lunatics where you stand, by the way. I'm surprised they let you go there. But
so being in this for as long as I have, I've been a driver, I've been an official, I've been now a photographer, I've been around the business for a long time. There's some places I go that scare the shit out of me, and I know what to look for. At VIR has allowed us to go, when you're going up the uphill S's, there's the catch fence in front of the villas.
yeah,
I always stood behind that event. I found out during Hyperfest that we're allowed to stand in between the wall and the catch fence.
okay.
That's so scary to me. I even sent them an email and I was like, are you sure you gave that information out correct? Because that doesn't sound right. But
Well,
I'll go there.
We're not flying IMSA cars, so it's a little better. You know?
I've seen a flying Spec E46 almost like part of the car higher in the air than the catch fence.
It's thunder.
Doesn't need to be an IMSA. Thunder.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be a crazy fast car. Just needs to be the wrong accident.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But maybe we should get you a helmet, Tony, so you can feel safer out there.
Getting the shot is what I'm focused on, not safety.
Oh, well. Elise, I'm sorry he said that. She worries about you enough half the time anyway, so that's his mom for folks that don't know her. But all right, my man, I think that's an episode. Unless you got more stuff you want to talk about, you might.
Oh, I always have more stuff to talk about. I'm sure as soon as we disconnect, I'll be like, oh. But nah, this should be good.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Until next time, keep working on yourself, keep working on the car, and let's get faster.